Chit Chat with Double V with host Vivian Velez is a program that breaks down important national concerns, events, and stories, featuring newsmaker interviews and compelling features to add context, clarity, and answer the questions on your mind. Every Sundays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, GMA Afforda Box, Easy Box, and all DTT boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Seen on Facebook /DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido.
Well, good Sunday afternoon, everyone. Once again, Vivian Velez here sa Chit Chat with Double V at DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Teleradio, TV Teleradio. It's going to be an exciting but rainy day Sunday, and it's so nice to have a guest. But before I introduce him, I want to greet a happy birthday to a very, very good friend, Ed Tutanes. Happy birthday, Ed. And of course, shout out dun sa soft opening of Fly Boys 2 in Danao City, dyan sa Pine Tree Mall branch. Well, hello to Darts. So, sa kanya po yan. Okay, well, let's get into our topic today. In line with our Chit Chat series of programs, yung ating topic na substance abuse prevention, and we wanted to do it for the whole month of July, which we started with our friend Lito Gruet, no? That was last Sunday. Well, let me introduce you our special guest. Well, one of the many showcases of hope that life can get better, that a zero can be a hero. This is his words. And nobody can be somebody, that with God, an ordinary individual can be extraordinary things to help build lives and build communities. Well, he was a drug dependent and who turned to God, and now the president, CEO of Safe Haven Holdings, Inc., the company behind Safe Haven Recovery Village, Safe Haven Halfway House, and soon Safe Haven Mental Health Center and Safe Haven Retirement Village and Geriatrics Center. He is the president, CEO, also of a Battle Against Ignorance Foundation. Kasama din po dyan si Lito, our good friend, and president of Talamban Christian School in Cebu. We want to welcome, Chit Chat wants to welcome Pastor Ronnie de los Santos. Hi, hello po. Good afternoon po, Pastor Ronnie.
Good afternoon din po, and good afternoon sa lahat po ng inyong tagapakinig at tagapanood. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my God, it's our pleasure. Thank you. It's our pleasure, Pastor. You know, we always say this na, syempre, it's a Sunday afternoon and everybody's resting, and it takes an effort for us, for our guests, you know, to come on live with us, and we thank you very, very much. Napaka-importante po ng ating pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon na ito, and we are so blessed to have Pastor Ronnie to really give us an enlightenment and an awareness, of what is happening when it comes to our battle, with drug abuse and drug addictions and some other addictions, di ba po, Pastor? Can you say? Yeah, go ahead. Yung ating yeah. Yeah, Pastor. Yung ating substance dependence, yan ang ating pag-uusapan. But I know, you have a really good story, as we are saying. Parang yung testimony mo, di ba, Pastor? You were a drug dependent before, no? Di ba, Pastor?
Opo, like 12 years.
12 years ago? For 12 years?
For 12 years. Ngayon, like, I'm 30 years na. I'm 53 years old. And so, like, 30 years clean and sober.
Wow, congratulations, Pastor. And it's so nice to hear those stories. Can you tell us a little bit of what really happened to you? How did you get addicted? Kasi nung nag-usap nga kami ni Lito, there are some risk factors also on how people get addicted, no, to some drugs or whatever addiction, no, yung ating parang of course yung substance dependence, no. What really happened to you, Pastor? If
Yeah, just like every time we have a client, we always have what we call as yung causal factor, yung contributing at aggravating factors ng kanilang behavior, bakit nagkaroon sila nung relationship with substances. And so like in my case, I grew up in a family that loves me. Just that siguro yung dad ko has his way of expressing yung kanyang love. And he was brought up na talagang very strict. And he thought na kung paano siya hinandle ng papa niya, napabutin naman yung kalagayan niya, na yung parenting style would also work for us. Ako yung eldest sa 6 na magkakapatid. So medyo mataas yung expectation. At saka yung paraan nung pagpapalaki before, hindi masyadong kasing siguro ganda nung ginagawa ngayon ng mga parents na mas aware ng mga better ways of child rearing and discipline. Sa akin, yun, bugbog sarado. Like, I was physically abused in the name of discipline. And so, I resented that. I got bitter. And so, I became rebellious. Kasi, yun nga, so amin, doon sa Mindanao, doon ako lumaki sa Jensen eh. Maraming baril sa bahay. And so, pag nagalit si Papa dahil I misbehaved, kung minsan takutin ka niya, habulin ka ng baril. And so, siyempre, yung bata matakot. Kaya akala niya tutuhanin siya ng magulang. So, I'd run away from home. Yung bahay namin malapit sa terminal nung jeepneys. Andun yung mga billiard halls. And so, doon ako pupunta at a very young age, like 12 or 13 years old.
Okay.
And so, exposed ka doon sa mga older, yung mga adults doon sa tambayan. And so, dahil wala kang magawa, pag may pera ka kunti, di maglaro ka ng billiard. Naging magaling ako sa billiard. And so, makikipagpustahan. And then cool pag naninigarilyo. And so naging kaibigan mo din yung iba, pinapatikim ka ng alcohol, yung mga gateway drugs. And then para mas cool pa talaga yon, in-introduce nung marijuana, yung mga ganyan. So I started with that. And nag-bloom lang siya. Ganon naman talaga yung mga relationships. So in my case, it all started with that. Kaya nung nag-college na ako, doon ako sa Iloilo nag-aral, malayo doon sa amin, sa San Agustin. Mas free, and dahil nga naging habit ko na, tuloy-tuloy siya hanggang nag-drop out ako ng college. And so, yung mga ganong istorya.
So it must be, well, alam naman natin kasi ang parenting, talaga naman wala rin naman school dyan, ano? Kumbaga, unlike now, medyo mas ano na tayo, mas educated na tayo when it comes to the right parenting, no? Kasi talaga namang nung araw, it was really medyo mas harsh, no? The way they discipline their children. And that was parang when it happened to you, Pastor, talagang kumbaga, where was your family then? I mean, talagang lumayo ka na sa kanila? No?
Yung istorya kasi ng buhay ko, yung first 23 years, hindi ako masyadong nandun sa bahay. Like elementary, doon ako sa auntie ko. nakatira sa Jensen, sa Notre Dame. I was raised talaga sa religious na mga schools. Like, niraise ako ng mga Marist Brothers na elementary. Pag high school ko, umuwi ako doon sa amin, sa mga Dominicans naman. And gusto kong maging pare that time. And yun nga lang, may mga intervening variables. So, doon ako napunta sa Iloilo. Augustinian naman yung nandoon. Kaya, nung medyo naging yung lumala, yung naging worst yung aking relationship, naging mas hooked ako and drop out ng college. Kaya siyempre wala ka naman ibang uuwian sa pamilya rin. Pero noon talagang dami kong pinuntahan na lugar, naglayas. And hinanap ako ng papa ko. And umuwi ako sa amin. Nagkasakit yung mama ko. Napunta siya ng Manila. We stayed sa Makati Med siguro for 1 month. And then 4 months sa Medical Center Manila. And nag-PGH pa siya dahil sa kanyang chemotherapy. After 5 months, umuwi yung mama ko. Nagstay ako ng Manila for like 3 years. I worked with Westin Philippine Plaza. Diyan ako sa Santa Cruz, nakatira sa Alvarez. So araw-araw, Bambang Station, papuntang Vito Cruz. And then, diretso ng likod ng PICC kasi nandun yung Westin, yung Sofitel ngayon.
Yes, Sofitel now.
And then, ang dami ko ding experiences dyan. Kasi nga, 5-star luxury siya na hotel, 700 rooms. And then, mayroon akong karanasan and yun, na-involve naman ako sa mga activities doon. And marami. And alam ng karamihan, no, when we talk about drugs and human trafficking, yung mga ganong klase ng buhay.
So you went all through that, Pastor? I mean, all the...
Opo. I know what is life on the other side of the fence. Kaya yung lahat ng mga lugar dyan sa Libertad, sa Pasay, sa Makati, alam ko po yan. Yung lahat na nangyayari dyan sa Ermita. Kasi, yun nga, young as I was, utusan yung Bisaya ka, tapos pupunta ka ng Manila. Merong mga adult dyan na nakaposisyon na sila and marami influence na. So, dahil sa regionalism, Ilonggo yung mother side ko eh.
Yes.
So, para kang bata, yung ganon. Utusan, errand. And sa pagiging errand mo, nabibigyan ka rin nung privilege.
May pera rin kasi, di ba, Pastor? There's money in it, right? There's money
so
in
much.
it, right?
Like,
Right?
imagine 700 rooms. Kung halimbawa, 30, 40 na babae sa isang gabi. At during that time, like 20 pesos pa per dollar. And then $300 kukunin doon sa casa. Forgive me if I'll say this lang.
Yes,
For awareness purposes.
Yes,
Kukunin doon sa casa ng 2,000 and then i-share doon sa iba ng 6,000. So yung grupo merong extra. And hindi lang lahat yan, halos na hotel sa Manila. At sa kahit dito sa Cebu. And may mga gawaing ganyan. Kasi may need may nangangailangan. So nagiging industry na rin siya. And so at a very young adult ako, teenager pa nga siguro, 18, 19, 20.
Wow, that's
I was exposed to that. And so until 1991 namatay yung mama ko. Nag-resign ako sa work. And then I was so guilty, I was so broken, I regretted yung mga ginawa ko. Kasi kahit nandyan ako sa Manila, and then I was working, kahit piso, hindi ako nagpapadala sa bahay. Even kahit may pera sila mama, hindi ko naisip, ayun ko. I was so blinded nung klase, nung reality na hindi ko naiisip yung pamilya ko. Just like many addicts. Hindi kami nag-isip, walang masyadong altruism. Wala masyadong sympathy and empathy. Pag nandyan ka siguro sa moment, maawa ko sa mama ko. But then,
after that, you forget everything, no?
Wala siya doon sa parang radar mo. Wala sila doon. And so, nung narinig ko na namatay siya, Yun ang umpisa. Yun ang turning point ng buhay ko.
So, well, okay. When I was talking to Lito also, alam namin because in our business also in the industry, in showbiz industry, it is more likely because maraming talagang medyo getting hooked no into drugs because almost like everybody's doing it, 'di ba? And with your experience naman kasi, I think it's more on really running away, no? Running away from from your parents, from the family, and then eventually nagkaroon ka ng parang kasi like what you were telling me, parang it is an industry that is medyo talagang on the black side, no? As we can say it. Pero at pagka nandun ka, pastor, parang nawawala lahat ng ano mo, no? Your inhibitions, whatever yung prinsipyo, wala na yon lahat, di ba? I mean, it is like it's normal when you're there, no?
You also develop a certain philosophy. Kasi underneath nung ating behavior, nandun una yung genetic predisposition natin.
Correct.
Nandun din yung ating belief system. Nandun yung values.
Yes.
Nandun yung philosophy. At nandun din yung environmental influences. And so, yung philosophy ko, nung nandun ako, very hedonistic. Like the greatest good in this world is pleasure. And so anything that is pleasurable, pursue it. Because life is short. You're never young forever. And so yun ang pumasok sa isip ko. And then, yung mga belief system na itinuro sa akin, tinalikuran ko. Kasi nga, masyado siyang flesh, masyadong carnal, masyadong pleasurable. And you're young. And very narrow pa yung perspective. And very vulnerable. Especially so na meron akong karanasan growing up. May mga issues like physical abuse, and can be emotional, psychological, sexual abuse. No, na kung isipin mo parang okay lang siya, but then hindi para sa bata. And so nung nandun yung mga siguro sabihin natin unfinished business, mga not unsatisfied desires, nung naging young adult ka na, bumalik siya lahat. And doon siya naghanap ng satisfaction. Kaya nafi-fill in yung void. Sabi nga namin, bakit kami nagtitake ng drugs is of course to feel good, to feel better.
Or escape reality altogether. Yeah. Kasi Pastor, I just wanted to find out kung talagang while you're in it, are you aware that there's something wrong, or parang it's normal lang siya?
Sa umpisa,
may
of course,
guilt.
nanginginig ka.
May guilt.
Kasi like for example, nung nandun ako sa hotel, dahil nga grupo siya, hindi ka pwedeng mag-operate na mag-isa. But then, may mga talagang gustong pumasok at makipag-compare sa'yo, patulong sa'yo. Of course, mayroon namang exchange talaga. And so, papasukin mo, bibigyan ka ng pera, ay talagang kabahan ka. Kasi alam mo yung possible consequence. And then, magda-drugs kayo, andun din yung possible consequence na mahuli kayo. Pupunta ka ng isang lugar, nandun yung mga but then, after a while, you get used to it, and it becomes a culture. Na it's just normal. It's okay. Wala nang masyadong wala nang mga hesitation. Hindi ka na nag-hesitate kasi nababad ka na na-soak ka na doon sa culture na ganon, and it became a way of life.
And then the people that you surround yourself with are also the same, right?
Yeah.
Parang ganon, ano?
Totoo.
Yung nga sabi nga nila, pag ang barkada mo or mga kaibigan mo or eventually, because you see them as normal, kasi yun nga yung parati na sinasabi rin sa atin, no, nung
Opo.
mga adults at that time, nung bata pa tayo, is really, you really have to choose your friends. Kasi parang makikita mo doon na kung sino yung who you surround yourselves with is parang makikita mo na rin na baka in the influence, no, it's there. So totoo pala ito, kaya
Opo.
oo, kasi well, yun sa akin naman, at that time when I was in the business, definitely with Lito also had that experience with that, na talagang, you're surrounded with people. Yung nga sabi ko nga kay Lito, you really have to have a very, very strong character. For you to be surrounded, sabi nga namin, na pag-usapan namin last week, kasi parang lumalabas, Pastor, ikaw yung outcast.
Opo.
Parang there's something wrong with you. You are not normal when everybody's doing it and you're not. So parang ikaw yung nagiging outcast, no? So it's important for the people that yung mga nakikinig sa atin, ang mga magulang, that is also a clear sign, di ba, Pastor, na pagka nakikita mo kung sino yung mga nakakasama ng mga anak mo, that is also a clear sign, right?
Yeah, that is why, like, for us, parenting style is very, very important.
Yeah.
Doon sa intervention.
Correct.
Kasi, like sa Cebu, sabi namin, bakit ganitong batang ito? Bakit ganito yung behavior niya? Saan ba to galing? So, sa Cebuano, sabihin, asa manigikan. So, when you ask asa gikan, it begin with ginikanan. So, saan ba to galing? Galing sa kanyang mga magulang. Kumusta yung family dynamics?
Yes.
Ano ba yung parenting style? Kaya meron kaming 4 usually na pinipresent just for awareness purposes din. May mga parent na very high control, very strict, and very low ang affection, very cold. And we call them as autocratic, and they produce rebellious kids. Meron namang mga parents na very lax, yung low control, but then low affection pa rin. Sila naman yung mga negligent. And so yung mga kids are neglected kids. Kasi naglumalaki sila na walang nagmo-monitor, walang nagsusupervise, walang mga expectations. Kasi absentee parent nga yung mga magulang. Meron naman na low control, medyo lax, but then very high ang affection. Very warm. Sila naman yung spoiling type. Wala silang time eh. So they'd shower their children with the goodies. Pera, yung mga ganon, yung anong luho na gusto, just to compensate doon sa kanilang lack of presence. So, ang daming spoiled brats. And so, ang resulta, yun din, napapariwara. Pero yung ideal sana is high control and high affection. Nandun yung expectations, nandun yung monitoring, but at the same time, nandun yung I love you. Sabi nga namin, a dose of vitamin A every day will kick all the troubles away. Ang daming mga bata kasi na vitamin A deficiency. Hindi yung vitamin, but yung a dose of affection, affirmation, appreciation, attention, approval. Walang ganon. Kasi nga, yung mga parents were not aware na kailangan pala yung ganon. Walang hugs, walang kisses, walang I love you, I'm proud of you, na you have what it takes to become, we're around, be the best that you can be, there's so much good in you. Walang ganon. Yung mga parents are busy doing their things, yung mga kids are also busy doing their thing. Ang problema, yung environment nila, yung nagmo-mold. And so, yun nga, nagiging bahagi ka ng isang kultura na kung hindi mo naman i-adapt, kuwan ka, yung iba. Sabi nga ni Charles Darwin, the one that survives in this world are not usually the strongest and the fittest, but the one who knows how to adapt to his ever-changing environment. So pag toxic yung environment mo at hindi ka nag-adapt, na-ostracize ka. So ang tendency, a-adapt ka talaga, but then ang problema, you develop a different behavior na kailangan mo para makasurvive ka sa ganong environment. So hindi naman pwede na nandun ka sa environment na magulo, na medyo toxic, pagkatapos ang bait-bait mo.
Oo,
Out of place ka.
out of place.
Ganon. So like kami, honest tayo naman talaga usap. Ano, maraming nakikinig. Yung mga 1988, 89, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, yun yung kasikatan mo eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would fantasize about you.
Yes.
Yung yung advertisement mo pa noon, if I may share.
Commercials.
Yung White Castle, yung mga ganun, Vivian Velez, ang ganda. Andun pa kami. Yung Westin, tabi niya, film center eh.
Oo, katabi. Yes,
Andun
yes.
pa yung panahon ng mga pangalan ng soft drinks. Yung
Yeah.
marami mga starlets before. And so that aggravated yung culture actually. Yun
Correct.
lang, but I have to be very open and
Yes.
blunt and straight about it ba? Because just for information purposes. And so, yung mga kagaya ko, growing up, na nandyan lahat yan, and then you have the opportunity to express kung ano yung nire-repress mo na feelings inside. Ay talaga. Oh, and you'd allow people to use you, even at times abuse you, just for you to survive.
Yes.
Kaya yun.
Oo, alam mo, Pastor, yung nga na-mention mo kanina, yung absentee parenting, no? Yun ang isa sa mga pinakamalaking problema natin, di ba, Pastor? Because of our OFWs. You know, most of the parents now are really working abroad, no? Aside from, sabi nga natin, busy yung ating mga parents, but ito talagang totally absent, no? Because they need to work, you know, to sustain also the family, no? Yun ang medyo malaking problema natin sa ngayon at yung absentee parenting.
Yeah, and it's kinda unfortunate. Meron kaming kasabihan na 1 million of career success cannot compensate your failure in the home. You might have all that the money can buy, but then if you'd lose your children, one day you'd ask yourself, what is this all for? Para ano lahat to? Pero yung mayroon namang iba, like in fairness naman sa ibang mga OFWs, kasi dito nga limited yung opportunities. And dahil limited yung opportunity, they are forced by circumstance to go abroad. But then ang irony is that they'd go abroad for the sake of their family, but while doing that, they have left and abandoned their children, and their children became vulnerable. And at the end of the day, lahat ng pagod at hirap nila sa abroad, na sayang lahat kasi naging drug dependence yung mga anak. Nandun sa school, and then may mga events, andun yung mga parents ng mga classmates. Pagkatapos sila, wala doon si mama, wala si papa. And then, hindi na-explain mabuti. So, ang resulta, sabihin nila na mas mahal nila yung pera kaysa akin. Kahit wala kaming pera, basta nandyan sila, okay na sana ako. Yung mga ganon na klase. So, nagre-resent sila. Ang resulta, they'd find comfort and relief sa drugs.
Yeah, but can we do something about it, Pastor? I mean, meaning, you know, an absentee parents like that really needs to work, and you know, it's a chicken and an egg thing, eh, di ba? Kasi parang pagka wala ka naman ding hanap buhay at wala kang pantustos, no, sa mga pag-aaral ng mga anak mo, di parang you know, sabi nga nila, di parang wala din, so is there a way, kasi I mean, of course you talked about I mean, school, no, kasi sa eskwela rin, di ba, Pastor, napaka-importante din na sa schooling ng mga bata that can be explained, aside parang life coach, di ba, kahit paano bata ka pa lang dapat meron ka ng life coach when it comes to pero wala tayo sa school system natin ng ganyan, di ba?
Yun nga ang isa. Kaya sabi namin, mayroong tanong lagi na, how can I unless someone shall guide me? yung need for us to become aware. Merong aklat din na ang title niya is, ng book na yan, is How to Achieve Success Without Failing Your Family. Pwede naman eh. Like sa ngayon na panahon, andito naman yung technology. Like I have two kids, puro babae. Yung isa, nandun siya sa China nag-aral, sa Guangzhou, sa Fushan, sa Newsoft. Minsan may mga client ako dito sa facility na sa safe haven na medyo high profile, and Cebu is sort of small for them. So ipadala ko doon sa China. Doon kayo mag-aral kasi pag nag-drugs ka doon, patay ka diretso. So wala kang access. Yeah, may mga taga roon na gumagawa ng drugs at ibibenta sa Pilipinas, pero then doon
Pero
hindi
doon
pwede.
mismo?
Hindi sila. Business lang talaga. And so, yung anak ko na nandoon siya, very vulnerable. So, kailangan ko mag-double effort. Like, yung technology, kailangan nyo lagi mag-video call, and kailangan niya marinig na you missed her, and that you'd been praying for her, na you always have her best interest at heart. So, andun pa rin yung guide. Yung ikalawa kong anak ay e-commerce naman yung panganay. Yung ikalawa is veterinary medicine man siya. Hindi siya dito sa Cebu. Doon siya sa VSU, sa Leyte. Kabilang island. Babae siya. And then, meron siyang, kasi medyo province and bulubundukin yung school. Kasi agricultural school. May motor siya. Alam ko, ako addict as I was. Alam ko yung mga manipulation, alam ko yung paano manligaw, alam ko lahat yun. And so, nandun, nakamotor yung baby ko at maganda siya at nakaputi. May mga engineering students doon na, siyempre, yun nga, may bisyo, and then may motor to. May motor na ako, may girlfriend pa. And so, I have realized also sa buhay that, kasi meron akong promise ring sa mga girls ko.
Yes.
Yung sa baby ko, may promise ring na hanggat hindi pa sila nag-aasawa, ako muna yung boyfriend. At isasauli nila yung ring pag ready na sila to get married. And so, yung need kasi ng babae, kaya nga yung awareness, yung education is very, very, very important. Like kung babae, sa his needs, her needs, na book, number 1 na need is affection. Number 2, communication. Number 3, sincerity, honesty. Number 4, domestic support. Number 5, security or security, domestic support. No, yung babae is affection. Yung nandun lagi yung hugs, yung kisses, yung I love you, yung pag yung daddy, meron siyang anak na babae and very affectionate siya doon sa dalaga niya. Of course, matagal siyang mag-boyfriend. At hindi siya tempted madali. Kasi nandun ka nga, yung need niya nami-meet. Pag dito naman nandito sila sa Cebu, ako yung driver. Kahit pa yung dalaga ko ngayon, nagtatrabaho siya. Sa umaga, kahit busy, ako yung driver. And pag nag-traffic, yun yung opportunity ko to ask, to talk about life and life's issues and how they are responding to it. Pwede naman ganon. Pwedeng video, pwedeng face-to-face. Kaya nga yung education natin ngayon, merong blended. And so yung mga OFWs, they can also do that. And sana sa school, hindi lang puro math and science. Sana mapag-usapan din yung life, na lives like this. So na we have this endowment. We were given by the Lord this privilege to make choices. But then we have to make wise and intelligent choices every day because every decisions that we make has consequences. Right. Like kung noon may nagsabi pa lang sa akin na, you know what, a moment of ecstasy may result to a lifetime of misery. Kung may nagsabi siguro sa akin ng ganon at lagi araw-arawin niya ako ng ganon, masarap yan, masayang gawin yan, but what's the price? What if the price is tsaka yung mga symposium before ng mga drug use abuse, iba may mag-testimony and doon sa testimony isabihin niya kung ano yung buhay niya sa drugs at masaya, masarap, so much fun, yung mga drug of choice, at ipapakita pa doon paano gamitin, etc. So kami na nakikinig, na curious tuloy. Sabihin namin, "Oo nga 'no, ang saya naman buhay niya, okey naman siya ngayon. Subukan ko kaya?" Yung mga gano'ng klase. So ngayon
Oh,
hindi na kami gano'n.
yes.
Sabihin namin not everyone was given the privilege to break through like us. Many of my friends are already dead. Maybe the Lord has chosen me to survive because I need to share the story of a miserable life. Akala lang na maganda pero hindi. And
Yeah.
so kami yung i-showcase ng parang
Oo.
napagdaanan namin hirap talaga. And baka
Yeah.
pag ikaw daanan mo yung napagdaanan namin, baka hindi ka maka-survive. And so wag mo nang subukan. And there are other ways naman na pwede kang maging masaya
Yeah,
in
but
minus
you,
drugs.
oh, you're able to share your experiences, of course, definitely in your life right now. It's a testimony that you can, no? But most of the time, then, Pastor, talaga namang hindi na nakakabalik, ano? Ang mga, I mean, of course, people that are dependent in drugs and yung mga drugs abuse, and of course, delikado kasi ang buhay, di ba? Alam po natin na sometimes, I mean, most of the time na for us, for somebody who yung may drug abuse na may addiction, talagang for them to be able to sustain yung kanilang addiction, talagang nagpo-push na rin sila, di ba? Nagbebenta na rin sila. Oo.
Totoo.
So you get into that system, that cycle, and it is quite difficult na minsan mahirap talaga umalis, no. I have some friends na talagang wala na, no, because the drugs that they used ay talagang yung well, talk about shabu and all of that, na talagang it takes over, I mean, it takes over someone's life altogether, and then at the same time the health, and wala na. When you talk to them, they're already their minds and it's not there anymore, no.
Yeah.
So some people are not lucky, or yun nga yung sinasabi natin, na hindi naman lahat nabibiyayaan, di ba, Pastor?
Yun nga po sabi ko kay Brad Lito. Sabi ko, ngayon, on a hindsight, we have 2020 vision. We'll be able to connect the dots. Siguro inalaw ni Lord
Yes.
na mapagdaanan natin yun so
Yes.
that everything that there is to know about drugs, we have known it based on a personal experience. So that
Correct.
when we talk to people who are currently nandun sila sa moment, then yung integrity ba natin, sabi nga namin it takes the therapeutic value of one addict helping another addict is without parallel. Because again, it takes one to know one. Pag nag-share ng story, pag nag-share siya ng story, yung level of empathy from us, iba kaysa yung
It's different.
normies.
Iba.
Kasi we can not only put ourselves on...
Iba kung science lang, no? Science.
Yeah, sa amin talaga, personal eh. So, mayroon kaming capacity to put ourselves on their shoes and also see the world the way they see it and even perceive, define the elements that they're seeing in their world the way and we understand the meaning ng definition ng mga elements kasi doon kami galing. Kaya sabihin namin, yeah, ganyan talaga.
So,
But then there's a way out.
Before we move on, no, kasi we want to tackle more on the treatments and what you do in Safe Haven, no. But then before that, yung prevention kasi, di ba, Pastor, it's really really important, even more so than you give second chances to people that are already addicted. It is more on prevention, on how we can prevent, even of course our youngs will even think about it, or maybe it's fun as you were saying, or it's maybe it's tinry naman ng kaibigan ko, wala naman nangyari, and so let me try it, and things like that. So it is very important yung ating prevention, and as I was saying kanina, marami tayong absentee parents. So for us to to do the prevention, di sana meron sana tayong system. Don't you think, Pastor, that at least even before your parents leave the country for another country for a work, at least magkaroon man lang sila ng seminar, di ba? If they're leaving their children, to whom or sinong guardians yung mga yan, at least they'll have to go through a seminar somehow on kung paano nila makita, and then of course in school, no? Pero kasi wala pa tayong ganun, di ba, Pastor? Meron ba kayong, you as having a safe haven, of course, we consider you already as an expert when it comes to saving lives and doing all the risk factors and stuff. Pero hindi kayo naiimbita sa mga ganitong, yung mga OFWs, even if they leave the country, na dapat mag-seminar muna sila sa inyo? Walang ganon.
Napakagandang idea po niyan. But then, for most of the time, we are only invited by schools. Okay. And yung mga even communities, kasi nga yung Battle Against Ignorance Foundation,
yes,
yung kanyang goal talaga is to promote awareness, because we believe that the greatest evil in this world is ignorance. Kung ang tao aware lang sana, maraming mga problema ang pwede niyang maiwasan.
Correct.
And tama po kayo, dapat ganun sana. Sana yung government natin would find
it's a must. Hindi yung pwedeng imbitahan lang at baka naisip mo lang, sige, wala, ito, katulad ng ginagawa natin na awareness, no, our program, so 1 month lang or something, but this should be really integrated in the system, di ba?
Tama po. Yeah. Lagi nating sinasabi na an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, no? But then puro lang salita. Yung walking along kasi, nag-uumpisa talaga yun. Mayroon man tayong mga premarital counseling, meron tayong mga child rearing and discipline na seminar supposedly bago ka mag-aasawa. Kaya lang, kuminsan parang compliance ya. And saka, yun, sana mabigyan ng depth yung mga programa na ganon. Para talaga before you go into it. At saka yung at the early age, kasi even mga psychologists like Sigmund Freud would tell us na yung formative years is very critical, yung first 5 years sa buhay ng bata. Ganon. Kung minsan kasi yung intervention huli na, sana yung umpisa pa, bago pa, kahit pa nasa tiyan. Kasi ang daming mga bata na doon pa lang sa womb, talagang rejected na, neglected na. Kasi unwanted nga sila eh. Ang dami natin ganon. And then, yung mga parents hindi ready. Nung lumabas na yung bata, hindi man lang nakasubok ng breastfeed. Walang ganon, walang connection ba? And so, ngayon, nung medyo tumandaan na itong mga bata at yung mga parents and they'd like to connect, huli na. Kahit nga yung words have so much power. Words are very powerful. Yeah. Sabi nga namin, you get what you say. What you say is what you get. Like ang dami mga parents, the way they communicate to their children, yung animal ka, bobo ka, gago ka. And then they'd expect their children to behave na mga bata, but then yung verbalization ay yung feeding sa mind ko negative. And so paglalaki siya talagang bobo, gago, animal, yung behavior. Paano yun ang laging sinasabi? Kaya kung minsan yung mga parents, bakit ganyan ka? Bakit yung ugali mo ang sama? Bakit? Kasi nung maliit ako yung sinasabi niyo. Lagi sa akin.
But it's a vicious cycle, di ba? Sometimes. Our parents are parents from parents to parents. It's really more on, as I said, wala namang kasing, school for parenting. And unless you really read them in books and they listen to you as a life coach and things like that. Minsan kasi yung life coach natin, nagre-reach out na lang tayo pag may problema na, di ba? Most of the time.
I just don't know how to mention ba. Bago itong ating interview, there was a mom who called me. And then she feels powerless. She's desperate. And she doesn't know what to do with her son. And her son is like 28 years old.
Yeah.
Um, Mature already. But yet, yung adversity quotient niya, feeling ko masyadong mababa. Yung emotional quotient niya mababa. Because the mom, had an experience growing up na medyo abused din. And so she does not want her son to experience all that she experienced growing up. So very protective. Talagang they can afford man. So she provided everything needed for her
The other
son
side of
to
the
live.
spectrum.
Yung sabi ko sa kanya kanina, nakikinig siya actually ngayon.
Hi.
Nakikinig siya.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, sometimes sa life, para tayong nagda-drive sa highway, sometimes you turn the wheel and we overextend, and then hulog tayo doon sa kanal doon sa kanan. And then we realize, oh no, nahulog ako sa kanal.
Okay.
And ngayon, pag nagkaroon ka ng opportunity, ite-turn mo naman, magre-react ka doon sa experience, so turn ka naman doon sa left, and then nahulog ka naman doon sa left side ng kanal. Yung paano magstay sa gitna, talagang challenge po talaga. And walang perfect na walang yung 1 plus 1 equals 2. Kasi
There's none,
tao naman
no?
po.
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, of course, we're saying what our goal and what we want others to, no? Pero napakahirap, di ba, Pastor? It's really very, very difficult, especially with the situations right now. Nung nagkaroon ng drug, yung ating supposed to be si President Duterte, 'di ba, na nagkaroon siya ng kanilang mga program, no, dun sa kanyang for drugs prevention and all of that. Nakulangan talaga ako doon, Pastor, because and then it turned out that instead of yun nga, huhulihin and nagtaka ko bakit kulang sa rehabilitation. Nakulangan talaga ako doon ng gusto because sabi nga namin ni Lito na talagang it's a chronic disease, no? I mean, nobody wants to be a drug addict. Nobody wants to kung talagang may choice ka at alam mo yung choice mong yon na makakasama sa iyo, who wants it? 'Di ba? Who wants it? So yun, talaga nakulangan ako dito sa government when it comes to really addressing the problem. And alam ko ang isa sa pinakamalaking problema dyan is, as we're talking about na nga, yung ating parenting style na dahil karamihan absentee. Alam natin yan. Alam natin na talagang totally absent sila. Sometimes the contracts of OFWs are 2 years, 2 years to 4 years. Imagine mo kung 10 years old pa lang yung iiwanan mo. Pagbalik mo, teenager na yon, di ba? 15, 16 years old na. Which is the most delicate, di ba? Yung ganong teenager
May mga individuals naman po, yung mga OFWs na talagang medyo maswerte sila kasi very strong yung family support. So yung mayroong mga surrogate parents yung mga anak, nandun yung lolo, nandun yung lola, and then yung values na naituro, yung environment na kanilang kinalakhan, talagang nandun yung mga kailangan nila for them to develop a healthy na self-esteem, yung self-image, yung ganun. Kaya kahit sila mismo, very strong yung resolve nila to say no to drugs. Kasi aware sila eh. Kahit pa doon sila lumaki sa lugar na pag very strong yung family support. Dito sa Cebu, membro core group ako nung family wellness program ng police force. Ang problema lang, kasi doon sa family wellness program, yung focus is yung pusher or drug addict.
Yes.
Yun lang focus. Sabi ko hindi naman pwedeng ganun talaga. Kasi trabahuin mo tong pusher, no? Papuntahin mo siya doon sa lugar kung saan mag-usap kayo. or ikulong mo siya or i-rehab mo siya. Pero pag walang intervention doon sa mga anak, walang intervention sa nanay,
It's a
walang
whole
intervention.
approach, ano?
Yung nagmo-multiply kasi ito yung drug trade. Hindi mo kailangan maging professional. Madali lang siya. Ida-drop ng drug lord yung drugs doon sa bahay. Pagkatapos, i-repack mo lang siya. And then, binta mo. So, kung wala si daddy doon kasi nahuli siya na nagpupush, yung mga parokyano pupunta doon sa bahay. Nandiyan, nasaan si daddy mo? Wala po, nahuli po. Pero may iniwan siya. May iniwan dito. Ilan bang kailangan mo? Ilang gramo?
Oh my gosh.
So, ang nangyayari, yung mga anak nagiging part sila ng industry.
Yes.
Napakahirap po talaga ako talaga binoto ko man talaga yung si President Duterte. Masaya din ako doon sa kanyang mga nagawa. Kaya lang, gaya ng sabi niyo po, kulang. Kuminsan kasi dahil sa desperation ng government, para lang talagang once and for all, patayan na lang o ganon. Kung halimbawa ako, pinatay ako before dahil nga may stigma. No, may stigma yung addiction eh.
Correct.
Wala to, wala na sa kanilang
wala nang pag-asa.
Sila itong mga rape, sila yung lahat ng mga criminalities, drug related. Correct. So, patayin na lang natin, cleansing, ganon. Madaling solution 'yon. Pero again, hindi siya pang matagalang solusyon. Ngayon wala na si President. Sana ipagpatuloy nung sunod na administration. But then what if hindi? Babalik at babalik uli. Kasi po, yung industry, tingnan nyo nga po ito, sa ating population, ngayon siguro mga 2-3% na lang. There was a time na 5-6% ng population are into drug use and abuse. And din yung average na expenses sa usage, say may gumagamit tag 2,000, 3,000 a day. Mayroong gumagamit 300 lang. So i-average mo, sabihin mo na lang 500 pesos a day. Yung 5% ng population, kung 100 million tayo, that's 5 million. Kung 111 or 12 million tayo, or 110, that's 5.7 million. And then times 500. Yun yung daily consumption. So sa isang buwan, ilang billion yan. Sa isang taon, ilang hundreds of billion. So napakalaki siyang industry and very tempting even sa mga financiers, sa mga negosyante. Kasi isang kilo, magkano lang? 26,000-30,000 yung kanila nagagasto, yung capital, yung street value, 1.3 million. Ang laki lang, ilang thousand-fold yun. So mahirap po talaga. Kaya yung mga families, kung hindi po strong at hindi aware, ang tendency, ngayon nawala, babalik uli. Kasi andun pa rin yung factors say poverty, nandun pa rin. Yung mga abuses, nandun pa rin. Kahit nga po sa mga schools, pag nag-symposium kami, merong isang school, yung kanilang engineering department, sa isang linggo, at least meron silang 10-15 plates na assignment. Itong mga young people, mayroon silang nightlife. And so, magka-cramming yan. Pagdating na nung Thursday at Friday, kailangan mag-overtime. Ngayon, mag-introduce. Para walang tulugan, makasubmit tayo ng ating project, gamitan natin. Meron akong i-introduce. So, magsasyabu sila. So, they'd feel good. They'd be so creative kasi upper siya. Pagkatapos walang tulugan, 2 araw. And they get to submit the requirements. Yung problema, na-achieve mo yung goal, but then at the expense ng health. Marami kami dito, may lawyers, meron din kaming mga doctors. They drug their way to med school. They drug their way to law school. Sabi ko nga doon sa isang doktor, sabi ko, Dok, wag ka talaga mag-join. Kahit sabi, ini-encourage na mag-join ng Narcotics Anonymous Meeting, ng Alcoholic Anonymous Meeting. Sabi ko, wag kang magpunta. Kasi kahit anonymous pa, yung Pinoy na culture, maya-maya, marites ka nung mga kasama doon sa Kuan, na mama, sino bang doktor mo sa hospital na yan? Si Kuan, ay naku, mama, addict yan. Yan pang surgeon mo, na pagtripan niyang katawan mo. So, yung mga ganon. Walang pinipili.
Yeah, I can relate to that because my son is a doctor. He just graduated, and I mean now it's a licensed doctor, and talagang hindi sila natutulog, no. But then as a parent, kasi nakatutok ako talaga, pastor. So everything that nakatutok talaga ako sa kanila. So mahirap nga kung ganyan, ano, parang quick fix, as they're saying. Now, we're talking about government interventions na kailangan. I think we should be able to put up a proposal, pastor, no, sa ating gobyerno na somehow that it has to be a requirement, no, paid by the subsidized by the government, na talagang kailangan ng mga life coach natin, na even to our OFWs or kung sino yung guardians na maiiwan dyan sa ating mga kabataan, and of course yung school, because I think that is the only way para sa akin, ano, yung prevention, and that's the only way that we can integrate, di ba, yung somehow yung ating yung mga kinakailangan. So if we're talking about this government intervention, somehow ito naman, how is faith is parang indispensable, di ba, when we say preventing and recovering from substance abuse, yung ating namang faith, when we talk about our spirituality, paano naman yan nakakatulong yung ating yung spiritual based element natin when it comes to treating naman tayo, pastor? Malaking bagay ba, nakakatulong ba ang ating, well, talk about, I mean, religion and spirituality is two totally different thing. But what is your take on that, pastor?
Yeah. When we talk about mental health, noon,
Yes.
halos nakafocus lang siya sa bio-psychosocial mental health.
Yes.
But then, sa ngayon, at least, nire-recognize na ang mental health is bio-psycho-spiritual. It's body, mind, and spirit. Hindi pwede body and mind lang. Kung body and mind lang, masyadong physical. Masyado siyang physical. And so, pag physical masyado, wala namang hinahanap yung physical aspect ng person natin, but pleasure. Anong yung masarap. Yeah, anything that is pleasurable and satisfying, we tend to pursue it. Anything that is annoying and not satisfying, we tend to avoid it. And so pag flesh lang, talagang doon siya sa ice cream. So kung body and mind lang,
sabi
hindi pwede. And so
kung ano yung bawal, yun ang masarap, ano?
Opo. Kasi flesh nga po siya. Taste, yeah. And so touch, yung mga senses natin. But then, dapat merong transcendence. When we talk about transcendence, nandun yung meaning, nandun yung sense of fulfillment, yung purpose. Very intangible, but it gives you a certain degree of satisfaction. Sabi nga namin, pleasure is of the flesh. Happiness is of the soul. And joy is of the spirit. So pag pleasure, kailangan mo yung matamis, masarap. Pag happiness, kailangan mo ng happenings, kailangan mo ng events. Pero pag joy, kahit wala lahat yan, you have that peace that surpasseth understanding, and you could not even explain it. It gives you a certain high that you cannot understand, better than the high that drugs can give. And later on, you'd realize na yung high na yun is something na spiritual. So kami, like, we have defined even yung essence ng person ba. Like, for example, ako, I am a spiritual being with a physical body. The real me is spiritual. The physical part of me is just a tent so that makapag-animate, so that I can relate to the people around me, and I can do procreation, no? Na yung purpose ni God. I am not a physical body with a spirit within. Kasi yung emphasis, kuminsan kasi, I am a physical being with a spirit within. Instead of, I am a spiritual being residing inside a physical body. So the real me is very spiritual. So ngayon sa amin, we have, this is revolutionary kasi yung concept ng, yung program ng Safe Haven.
Yes.
This is a blend of science and spirituality in an atmosphere of love, acceptance, support, and trust. Yung mga previous kasi, yung tawag namin Jurassic, they
Jurassic.
looked at addiction as immoral depravity. It's a moral issue. Na itong mga addict, mga pasaway, yung mga addict, mga titigas ang ulo, mga spoiled brats. Kasi yung nakikita sa media na lahat nung i-showcase na nagawa ng mga addict, mga anak mayaman, mga spoiled brats.
Yes.
So ito mga pasaway. And dapat i-disiplina. So pag nandun sila sa rehab facility, dapat pahirapan para hindi na uulit. So old school pa rin. Face the wall, gapang dito,
Punishment.
palo dito. Talagang punitive ang discipline.
Punitive.
Hindi siya restorative. Dapat sa school, kahit sa family, dapat yung discipline natin is restorative. Hindi siya punitive. Kaya nga yung mga approaches namin is very much on solution-focused, motivational interviewing, yung CBT, yung cognitive behavioral therapy. Yun yung mga approaches. Hindi siya yung punitive.
Yes.
Na operant conditioning or classical conditioning. Wala na, medyo luma na style yung ganon. And so, kailan talaga magsama yung dalawa. So, yung goal, like criteria namin for healing, dapat physically fit ka, sana maging physically healthy, emotionally stable, nawala ng swing-swing ng emotion, psychologically well, interpersonally effective, and then intellectually functional, and then behaviorally responsible or economically fruitful, and the most important of all is spiritually alive and active. Kasi yung issue talaga nung bakit kailangan yung spiritual, gaya ng sabi niyo po, iba yung religion, yung being religious, tsaka spiritual. Ang daming tao, they're very religious but not spiritual.
Correct.
But most spiritual people, they are religious because they have a certain discipline or routine. They have a routine, a structure to sustain yung kanilang spirituality. Just like in my case, I wake up early every morning and I'd read 5 chapters, 6 chapters every day. And then I'd upload it. Friends man tayo sa Facebook, and you'd see it, that's every day. And whatever morning thoughts that I'd get from the Lord, I'd share it. And then that's my discipline. That's how I express my spirituality. And so I experience a sense of meaning and purpose and a sense of fulfillment sa lahat ng ginagawa ko. Pag may mga mama na magpapasalamat na, Pastor, yung totoong anak ko na ibalik na. Maraming salamat. Yung parang iiyak na ako kasi naalala ko yung mama ko. Hindi naman ako maka-make amends directly sa mama ko kasi wala na siya. But then, every time may mga parent na naging masaya dahil sa ginagawa namin, parang napasaya ko na yung mama ko. So, I experienced a spiritual feeling na hindi mo ma-explain. Minus spirituality, walang healing. Minus relationship, walang healing. Ito yung thesis ko. Because if there's a breakdown sa relationship, there's a breakdown sa life. But when there is a healing sa relationship, there will be a healing sa life. So reconciliation and restoration of relationship are integral part nung therapy. Dapat. And number 1 talaga is for you to be reconnected to your Creator. That's why we incorporated yung 12 steps na approach. Kasi minus yung lahat yan, sabihin ko talaga sarili ko, gusto kong bumait, ngunit di ko magawa. Because if life is just like this, ayoko. Dito na lang ako.
What is the purpose of life? No? Somehow.
But then there's something more to life than this. There is something better than what I am having right now. And yung pwede lang ma-provide niyan is yung spirituality. Gaya na sabi sa amin, S man lahat. So instead of shabu, S, palitan mo nga ng S. Andun yung sightseeing, andun yung spirituality, andun yung shopping, andun yung sweet. Yung mga S naman lahat yan, sports, and then have sex. Instead of shabu ka ng shabu, and then enjoy, intimacy with the person that is dear to you. And then okay na yan. Kaysa itapon mo yan lahat sila dahil ipagpalit mo lang doon sa isang S.
With
ang
one
siya-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Kaya
Yeah.
may alternative lifestyle talaga. So, ulitin ko po, yung spirituality is very, very, very integral part ng therapy. Kasi kung wala po yan, walang meaning. Ang lahat ng ginagawa sa buhay, walang meaning. Even yung philanthropy, kasi marami sa amin, say for example, naghalo kasi at one time, kasi yung aming facility is also a shelter. Yung goal kasi namin sana isang araw, wala na pong taong grasa sa kalsada. Yung mga talagang taong grasa, yung mga street dwellers, na wala na silang ligo, kumakain doon sa basurahan at pagkatapos uminom ng tubig sa kanal, yung mga ganon, sana wala na. So dalhin namin sila doon sa facility. And then dahil nga may mga issues na sila sa mind, itong mga drug dependents, gamitin namin yung imagery na pag hindi ka hihinto, yan ang patutunguhan ng buhay mo. Ganon. Kung hindi man dyan sa sementeryo, kung hindi sa jail. And then, pagkatapos, dahil itong mga drug dependent, mababa yung self-esteem, nag-gravitate kami doon sa mga underdogs. So yung welfare nung taong grasa, yung parang gusto naming mapabuti siya. Kasi pag napabuti siya, parang may meaning yung buhay ko. So umpisa nilang liguan, pakainin, alagaan. Ngayon pag nag-improve yung buhay ng taong grasa, yung addict, nagkakaroon siya ng sense of meaning, ng fulfillment, ang saya. Later on, sabihin niya, sana ginawa ko man lang to sa mama ko, sa pamilya ko, sana ganito ako mag-aruga. Sana ganito ako nag-alaga sa kanila. So ngayon, magkakaroon siya ng result, uuwi ako. At kung anong ginawa ko sa taong ito, gagawin ko sa pamilya ko. And then, pag ginawa niya, maganda yung feeling.
Yeah.
So, unti-unti, nahihil yung relationship. Nare-reconnect siya sa family, nare-reconnect siya sa God, and then nare-reconnect siya sa self. Kasi sabihin niya, my life matters pala.
Yeah.
I thought wala akong value. My life matters pala. And then he'd begin to say, gwapo pala ako. Love din pala ako ng family ko. May silbi pala ako sa community at mahal ko sarili ko. So hindi na ako babalik doon. Dito na lang ako. So yun ganun.
Okay.
At yung mga taong grasa po, sinsya na po, pag nakapagkwento ako, hindi na matapos. Yung mga taong grasa, pag nakikita naman nila yung addict na nag-aalaga sa kanila, kasi yung issue ng addict more on behavior.
Yes.
Dahil normies yung nakikita nila na behavior, madaling mag-heal itong mga may psychosis. Kaysa ilagay mo sila doon sa mental hospital, na wala, nakakulong lang sila, puntahan lang ng doktor
No interaction.
para painumin ng gamot. Walang interaction, walang community, walang relationship. So wala silang ma-mirror. So yung ugali nila ganun pa rin. Pero mayroong medication, and then pagkatapos may community, they get to see how a normal person behaves in a community. Na may mirror nila, gumagaling. Kaya may silbi pa rin yung mga addict, hindi kailangan patayin.
Okay, Pastor, we will get into that more. We still have another 30 minutes to really talk about it. We'll just break for a commercial, and then, of course, we'll talk about the place that you have for second chances. Ito yung pag-uusapan po natin. And but we'll be right back.
Double R is now at Radio Bandido, an informative program that tackles all issues concerning all walks of life, delivering hottest issues and events, with health consultations on air and a lot more, with your host veteran newsman Ricky Sunga and master entrepreneur Ruel So. Double R sa Radio Bandido every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. You can catch Double R on DZRJ 8:10 a.m., Radio Bandido TV channel 224, TV Plus boxes, and streaming live on Facebook/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido. Chat with Double V with host Vivian Velez is a program that breaks down important national concerns, events, and stories, featuring newsmaker interviews and compelling features to add context, clarity, and answer the questions on your mind. Every Sundays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, GMA Afforda Box, Easy Box, and all DTT boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Seen on Facebook/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido. Welcome the newest addition to our lineup of explosive anchors, a veteran broadcaster, a sports news anchor, race car driver, columnist, and reporter, Ira Panginiban and his program Free Spits. Free Spits, a parody of free speech, a right we always abuse. Free Spits, freewheeling discussions, no holds barred. Free Spits, the real sentiments of the Filipino people. Free Spits and Ira Panginiban, Monday to Friday from 5 to 6:30 p.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, GMA Afforda Box, and all DTT boxes. Also heard on DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Also seen on Facebook/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido. Bangon na! Tanghali na! RJ na! The Observer Pusong Minero is a radio program that tackles political, current events, consumerism, and environment issues. It also tackles news and issues on responsible mining, its contribution to our country and communities in terms of social, health, and environment. The Observer Pusong Minero, hosted by Felix Tambongco, every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, free-to-air Channel 29, Facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and on YouTube, DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido. The mystical, the magical, and the occult, made easy by G and Marge Santos on Mystical Buffet, aired every Saturday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. This program gives insights and guidance in the world of essential spirituality and wisdom of the ages. Its aim is to share extraordinary topics to everyday lives of ordinary people. Walk with them in a mystical, alternative, and less than ordinary path of life. Watch them every Saturday on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, Facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido.
Magandang araw po.
Sa Mindanao, ako si Jude at your service.
Samahan niyo po ako sa mga kwentuhang lokala, turismo, at usapang serbisyo ng buhay at kabuhayan, kalusugan at kalikasan, kultura, sining at kasaysayan dito sa Bayan ni Juan. Sa bayang mapapakinggan at mapapanood sa DZRJ 8:10 a.m. ang Radyo Bandido sa Metro Manila. DZRJ Radyo Bandido TV, available sa Sky Cable Channel 224 at sa mga digital box ng GMA Afforda Box, ABS-CBN TV Plus Box, sulit TV box ng TV5. Live sa Facebook, www.facebook.com/DZRJ810AM at DZRJ810AM Radyo Bandido sa YouTube channel. Tuwing araw ng linggo, alas 3 hanggang alas 4 ng hapon, dito sa Bayan ni Juan.
Chit Chat with Double V with host Vivian Velez is a program that breaks down important national concerns, events, and stories, featuring newsmaker interviews and compelling features to add context, clarity, and answer the questions on your mind. Every Sundays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, GMA Afforda Box, Easy Box, and all DTT boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 810 AM. Seen on Facebook /DZRJ 810 AM and YouTube channel DZRJ 810 AM Radio Bandido.
Okay, we're back and you're still with Chit Chat with Double V dito sa DZRJ. And of course with our special guest, si Pastor Ronnie De Los Santos ng Safe Haven Recovery Village. At yun nga nabitin sa ating before the commercial, Pastor, no? Kasi we're talking now on of course the spirituality, that how important it is, no, to any treatment. Pero ang gusto ko rin tanungin, let's talk about yung ating Safe Haven Recovery Village and kung ano yung mga ginagawa ninyo at pero gusto ko malaman muna, how do you motivate patient to change, you know, their behavior and even enter a treatment? Paano yan? How difficult? I'm sure it is very difficult, no? Pastor.
Yeah, hindi po talaga madali. Nung inumpisa namin ang Safe Haven, nung ilang sa mga kaibigan ko, yung goal lang talaga namin is to give people an opportunity to behold their future. Na there is hope, life can get better. Diyan kami galing. And if you'd follow our steps, where we are right now, diyan ka rin papunta. Kasi noon, nung nag-uumpisa pa ako, meron akong radio program sa radio, sa Super Radio, sa GMA. Ang title ng programa namin, ng kaibigan ko, ay Pagpakabana Kapuso. And yung ginagawa namin, mag-testimony doon sa radio. And then may mga interactors kami. And then they'd ask, bakit kayo naging ganyan? Oh, paano kayo gumaling? And so we'd share. And then pagkatapos may anak ako, we'd tulungan nyo siya. And so yun, we'd visit. And then pagkatapos we'd walk along. Sabi ko, why not let's make it formal? Kasi libre lang lahat yun.
Yeah.
Libre yung ginagawa namin. So, kuan lang na tulungan sila maging ambivalent. Like for example, ako, pag nag-handle ako ng patient, no? Sabihin ko man sa kanya, what if one day, I'm not even telling you or asking you which day, but what if lang one day you decide to stop? I'm not even asking you to stop, but what if one day you decide to stop? What do you think your life would look like 3-5 years from now? So you're creating a sense of ambivalence. Kung ano, kung magpapatuloy ako sa buhay na ganito, 3 lang pupuntahan ko jail, cemetery, or mental hospital, mental institution. Pero pag subukan ko kaya, I've been living this kind of life for 20 years, 15 years, and then doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different result is foolishness or insanity. Subukan ko naman kaya yung buhay na iba. So, yung ganun lang. Yung para pag nangligaw, like kami noon, pag nangligaw, sabihin namin, alam mo, gusto kita. Ay, ayaw ko sa'yo. Subukan mo lang. Like 1 buwan. Pag ayaw mo sa akin, after 1 buwan, di, hiwalayan mo ako. Ayoko lagi sa'yo, gawin mo tatlong linggo. So, ganun din yung sa mga addict. Pero meron po kami, yung on a serious na side of the work, meron kaming voluntary, meron din kami yung involuntary.
Yeah.
Yung voluntary namin na sila mismo, they're so desperate and they feel
They
the
seek
need
help. Yes.
to receive help. Yung isa naman, they're not in their proper frame of mind, but then all the symptoms nung addiction nandun na lahat and the family cannot take it anymore, like enough. And so kikidnapin namin. Joke lang. I-rescue namin siya.
Oo.
So, ganun.
Kasi meron ako, meron ako mga friends, that already experienced that intervention na tinatawag nila, no? That sometimes talagang yung patient, do we call them patient?
So
Patient,
dito kasi tinatawag namin sila na na housemates.
housemates.
Para wala masyadong stigma.
Oo,
Kaya
pero
hindi kami
before they
tumatawag din ng
become a
rehab.
housemate,
Mhm.
oo. So yes nga, Pastor, kasi syempre, sometimes it's really, most of the time, I think, pagka nandiyan ka, lalo na pagka talagang you're very so high, with your addiction, so you don't know, you're not in your right mind, di ba? So talagang yung family is the one that's really asking, seeking for help para sa kanila. What is the chances of that? Meaning, yung hindi siya voluntary or dun sa voluntary na nagpupunta. What are the chances? Meron bang mas successful pagka nag-volunteer siya or mas successful pagka, yun nga, na nagkaroon ng intervention ng family?
Mm. Based dun sa aming experience, like we have had experiences before na ni-rescue involuntary.
Yeah.
But then yung lugar na pinuntahan, involuntary na nga, but then pagdating dun sa rehab, sa facility, very morbid, gloomy, and then yung environment talagang pinahirapan pa sila, like, so ang nangyari, instead of them accepting, they all the more became bitter and they resented yung intervention.
The intervention.
And so, pag sabihin nila, bantay lang kayo. Makalabas lang ako dito, dodoblehin ko. Gagawin kong impyernong buhay nyo kasi pinasok nyo ako dito. So nakita namin yung need, kasi ma-addict kami lahat. Why not yung community dapat is maganda, para kang nasa resort, para kang nasa community talaga. At yung approach is loving, accepting, supportive, and trusting.
Yes.
May swimming pool, may gym, may basketball court, may billiard halls, may entertainment area, pwede kang mag-video kay. And then you have the community. And so, kahit involuntary, i-compare mo yung buhay mo sa loob ng facility at sa buhay mo sa labas, mas better pa rin sa loob ng community. And so, pag ganun yung setup, yung bitterness and resentment nawawala. Lalo na after 15 days ng detoxification, kasi detoxify mo pa man sila, ilagay sila doon sa quarantine area or sa calming room so that ma-flush out mo na lahat, tulog kain. Yun lang yung trabaho nila until na-flush out lahat yung substances, and then you'd begin to do the assessment. So lahat na ng form ng assessment mula psycho, psychosocial, and then laboratories ng lahat, DDE, yung drug dependency examination, so that malaman yung severity and yung other things like baka meron silang HEPA na or HIV or TB. So para yung complete assessment muna, and then we come up with a treatment plan after that. So sila mismo, upo sila doon at pagkatapos pakinggan kung ano yung sabi ng mga professionals. And so sila din, while nagwo-walk along kami, 5 relationships man lang. Una, relationship sa self. Pag medyo wala ng self-care, dahil doon sa bisyo, may problema na. Ikalawa, relationship with family. May mga family gatherings. Ayaw na nilang mag-join. Nag-isolate na sila. And so, ikalawang sign na yon, yung pag-aaral at yung trabaho, hindi na sila nakakapagtrabaho, hindi nakapag-aral, nag-drop out na. So another sign na rin yon. Yung kanilang resources, no? Wala na, walang pera, nagnanakaw na. And so pag ganun na, kailangan niya na talagang ipasok. So sila din, pag nag-walk along ka, tulungan mo silang makita yung reality na yun. Look at you. Look at your life. Yeah. And so, pag na-realize nila, nga, no? Pag sober na, tapos na-realize niya, ano bang nagaginawa ko sa buhay ko? And yun, tatanggapin niya na. Tatanggapin niya na yung reality na nasa loob siya ng facility. And then, once sabihin namin na lilipas naman to lahat, hindi ka naman forever dito. Kaya lang, kuminsan, dahil yung iba nga, dahil sa kultura sa loob ng facility na ganon, yung iba ayaw nang umuwi. Kaya yung staff ko, like 40 yan sila, 36, 40.
Yeah.
32, 34 siguro niyan sa kanila. Mga recovering man lahat. At yun sila yung ayaw nang umuwi. Kasi mas masaya man dito.
Yes.
Kaya yung iba na mga tapos na yung program, pag very strong yung family support at mataas yung recovery capital nila, yun pa uuwiin namin. Sabihin namin, doon ka lang tumira sa inyo. Kasi mahal ka ng family mo. Maganda yung family mo. So begin rebuilding relationship with them. Pero pag nakita namin toxic yung family environment,
I see. Yeah.
so instead na pauwiin namin, i-encourage namin yung family na ilagay siya doon sa halfway house. Itong safe haven na main, we call this a treatment community.
Yes.
Yung halfway house is a sober community. So
Okay.
yung mga kasama mo doon, tapos na sila sa program, nagtatrabaho na sila, yung iba nag-aaral uli, nagde-develop ng mga skill set. Kasi yung goal namin is lifelong recovery and improvement of the quality of life. Ano man lang yung clean and sober ka, but yet you are not productive.
Correct.
You're not impacting the world around you. You're not making a difference. You're still dependent. Dapat nag-clean and sober ka, and then you receive help from us to help you discover your major definite purpose. Kung saan yung passion mo. Kasi dapat ma-rekindle yung passion. And then pag nakita mo na yung passion, be the best doon sa kung saan ka passionate, and then find your niche under the sun, and then live your life. The rest of your life doing that thing that you love. So kung culinary, yan, yung passion mo culinary will help you. Sa TESDA, may mga programa naman ng government. And so dahil doon, mas nasusustain yung recovery. Kasi mas meaningful na yung life.
Oh, Pastor, I want to find out ano ba ang mga challenges dyan sa foundations, because I know it also takes a lot of course, resources, no,
Yeah, po.
for you to be able to do this. Oo. So may mga challenges tayo sa mga foundations, sa ating foundation
Marami.
when it comes to resources. No,
Yeah.
I am sure maybe somebody's listening and ano, di ba? I mean, it's really also a lot of our friends also medyo talaga may advocacy rin naman sila. And I think this would be one of the best,
Platform.
na matulungan, ano? Kasi talagang maraming natutulungan. I mean, it's sabi nga natin, it's a whole approach, no? The community, the whole community has to really kailangan mag-ambag, no? Para lang dito sa ating mga nagiging problema. Pero as a counselor naman, Pastor, may I ask, meron ka ring mga challenges up to now when you deal with recoveries and yung mga treatments?
Yeah, nandun pa rin. On a personal na level, yung ginagawa ko ngayon actually helped me. Kung minsan sabi nila, Pastor, thank you for helping us. And sabihin ko, it's not actually me that is helping you, but you're helping me to stay sober. Kasi ngayon, lagi ako nag-CBA, mag-cost-benefit analysis ba ako. Human as I am, now I still have my lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life. But then, I'd always do a cost-benefit analysis. Like kung I'd succumb to, if I'd indulge in, ano yung consequence? Ano na lang sabihin ng mga nagasunod sa akin, yung nakatingin sa buhay ko, na wala talaga. Tingnan mo nga siya. Oh, wala, mahirap. Hindi talaga tayo gagaling. So, yung challenge sa akin is living the life. Oh, and totoo naman, si Lord has a way of affording me with what I need each day so that I can be a showcase. Like in areas of prosperity, in areas of material blessing, in areas of family life, in areas of health. I'm 53, gwapo pa rin. Yung mga ganun na klase. And so, yung nakikita nila, yung ganun, instead na sana wala ka ng buhok, ganyan, dahil nga doon sa drugs, wala ng ipin, ganun. Pwede pala. And yun yung akin. But then, on the other side na pod, yung the other side na pod ng challenge is, how can I do more? Because what I am seeing around me is life is being transformed. And so it tells me that what we're doing is effective. And so we want to help more. But then we can only do so much. And so like what we are doing right now is we rob the rich to help the poor. And so sabihin naman namin doon sa mga paying na mga clients namin na yung binibigay nyo sa amin, hindi lang yan to support yung recovery ng inyong anak. Yung other part of it is also helping other recovering drug
that doesn't have the resources.
Yan, nang wala talaga. Kasi sa amin dito, pag desperate ka, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yung gano'n na talaga ba? Kumatok ka lang doon sa gate.
Wow.
At bubuksan ka namin. Wala kaming nire-refuse. Kahit pa fully booked kami, kahit pa full packed kami, basta desperate ka at kumatok ka dyan sa pintuan, sa gate, papasukin ka. Ganon. Pero at saka libre lang talaga. Basta talagang kumatok ka. Kasi marami sa amin, ganon ang nangyari sa buhay namin. Wala talaga, zero. Meron lang community na biglang naniwala sa potential namin, na merong hope. So tinanggap kami, winok along kami, kaya ganito na kami ngayon. And so ganon din kami sa iba. But then, struggle lagi. So, kaya nga't nagtayo kami ng Buy Foundation. Para yung gustong tumulong, magbigay sila doon sa foundation. Correct. And then yung mga nangangailangan ng tulong, pupunta sila doon sa foundation. At yung foundation ang magpo-provide ng finances, ng resource para tulungan yung mga recipient, yung nasa loob ng facility. Ganon. Kaya lang mahirap talaga kasi marami sa mga membro ng community na magsabi na may mga addict yan. Choice nila na mag-addict. Pagkatapos mga pasaway. Ngayon ako pang gagasto. Nag-enjoy sila sa buhay. Pagkatapos ngayon nagkaloko-loko, ako ang gagasto para maparehab sila. Ay sobra na yan, patay na yan. Ganon. Kaya lang yung sinasabi naman namin na yung addiction is a disease. Marami sa kanila, wala namang nangarap na maging addict na, Daddy, paglaki ko, gusto ko maging addict. Yeah. Meron kami dito yung anak ng cook namin. Sabi niya, Mami, paglaki ko gusto ko maging addict. Bakit gusto mo maging addict paglaki mo? Kasi ang yaman ng mga addict. Tingnan mo yung bahay nila, ang laki. Meron silang swimming pool. Yung tingin niya doon sa facility. Sabi niya. Pero wala talaga na bata nung maliit siya na nangarap na maging addict. Sabi din namin sa community, pag wala tayong gagawin ngayon, yung addict, parang zombies kasi itong mga addict eh.
Correct.
Para silang zombies, parang zombie apocalypse. Pag wala kang gagawing intervention, dumadami to. Kahit gaano pa kataas yung wall na itatayo mo to protect, aakyatin yan. At yung anak mo lalabas yan ng bahay. I-hold upin yan doon sa kalye. Doon sa school, i-influence yan. So kung wala kang gagawin, ay talagang yun ang mangyari. So dapat talaga magtulungan. And
Kailangan
kung
talaga
meron kang
magtulong.
extra, magtulong ka ng isa. Baka yung tinulungan mo yun, pang liligtas doon sa anak mo.
Correct. Oo. So Pastor Ronnie, talagang this is of course it's not never enough, when it
Opo.
comes to
Alam
really
ko.
talking about this topic of ours, no. So at least we go on a series, no. Thank you so much, Pastor Ronnie. I mean, any final words from you, and of course yung Safe Haven Recovery Village, and of course yung Bay Foundation, and just let them know kung saan kayo pwede mag-contact. I'm sure sa Facebook, no, you are nandiyan ang Safe Haven. Anyone who is interested to help out, no, and help out the community, please do so. Any final words, Pastor Ron?
Opo. Yeah, sa mga families around. Pero una sa lahat, salamat po.
Thank
Salamat
you.
sa opportunity na naimbitahan niyo po kami. And makapag-share ng stage para i-promote yung advocacies namin.
Yes.
Kami naniniwala talaga na there is hope, na life can get better. Any zero can be a hero, especially pag nandyan si God. Like, nobody is too far from God na hindi siya kayang i-reach out ng grace ni God. We were born for a reason. And kahit adik-adik niyan, meron niyang reason bakit ipinanganak. Kung tulungan natin siya, yung reason kung bakit kinreate siya ni God, mangyari. Bawat isa sa atin, mayroong problema sa community na before tayo ipinanganak, na i-design na tayo ni God na tayo ang susolve noon. Kaya lang, along the way, yung enemy, somehow, is successful kung bakit napalayo tayo doon sa purpose. And so, tulungan natin. You'll never know. You'll never know. Yung community na nagtulong sa akin, nung dumating ako ng Cebu, walang mama, walang papa, walang mga kapatid na mag-support. So, I have to work as a construction worker. Imagine, galing ako Westin, nagtrabaho ko ng construction from 7 to 3, mag-aral ako from 4 to 10 for almost 4 years. But then, nakaya ko po kasi may community na kumukup. Pag mayroong kulang, dadagdag punan nila. And so, naniwala sila sa potential ko. And then, andito ako. Noon burden, ngayon blessing.
Savior.
Noon problem, ngayon
You save a lot of lives.
noon taker, ngayon giver. So, ganon din yung iba. Si Lito, yung mga kasama ko. Puro kami pasaway, puro kami burden. Ngayon blessing na sa community.
Yes.
Kaya,
It's true.
kailangan namin ng tulong, kahit pang-encourage lang.
Yes.
Yung ganon lang. And again, pag meron kayong problema, hindi man namin ma-accommodate lahat, but then at least meron kayong pwedeng makausap. Meron naman kaming Facebook page. Puntahan nyo lang, Safe Haven Recovery Village or Battle Against Ignorance Foundation. At least meron kayong makausap. And then mabigyan kayo ng mga opportunities kung saan papunta, and saan pupunta. Yan. Yun lang po.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Pastor Ronnie. Of course, this is not going to be the last time. Sana we can have you again and again. And thank you. You're such a blessing to a lot. And thank you so much for guesting Chit Chat. And we'll see everyone next Sunday again. We're going to have a nice topic once again. Thank you, Pastor Ronnie. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
God bless.
God.
The views and comments of the hosts and guests are not necessary.